Ya Om Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudidayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bharevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktamrita Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 21, Text 8. You're hearing about the descendants of Swayambhuva Manu. Tavat prasano Bhagavan Pushkaraksha Krite Yuge Darshayam Asatam Shataha Shabdam Brahma Dadat Vapuhu. Then in the Satyug, the lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead, being pleased, showed himself to that Kardama Muni and displayed his transcendental form, which can be understood only through the Vedas. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Here 2 points are very significant. The first is that Kardama Muni attained success by yoga practice in the beginning of Satyug, when people used to live for 100,000 years. Kardama Muni attained success, and the Lord, being pleased with him, showed him his form, which is not imaginary. Sometimes the impersonalists recommend that one can arbitrarily concentrate one's mind on some form he imagines or which pleases him. But here it is very clearly said that the form which the Lord showed to Kardama Muni by his divine grace is described in the Vedic literature. Shabdam Brahma. The forms of the Lord are clearly indicated in the Vedic literature. Kardama Muni did not discover any imaginary form of God, as alleged by rascals. He actually saw the eternal, blissful, and transcendental form of the Lord. So we are being informed here, we are being told here that Kardama Muni, he attained perfection. Attained perfection, he's seeing the form of the Lord. How? By meditation. But that was Satyug. That was Satyug, and so he was able to, he had a long life. People in Satyug, as we have been saying, would live for 100,000 years. And so they could achieve the perfection, which is seeing the Supreme Lord by the process of yogic meditation. And he was, his mind, when he was doing meditation, his mind was fixed on the form of the Lord. It was fixed on the mind, on the form of the Lord, which is recommended in the Vedas. In the Vedas, the various forms of the Lords are mentioned. And when Kardama Muni achieved perfection, he saw the form of the Lord, the transcendental form of the Lord. The Lord's form is not material like ours, but is transcendental. And he could see the form of the Lord by the Lord's mercy, because the Supreme Lord being pleased. So we can see here the both are required. We can see that both are required. What is required? One is that we need to make the effort ourselves. So Kardama Muni is doing the effort. He is doing the devotional service. We heard yesterday that he was not only doing the yoga process, but also devotional service. So he did the devotional service, and he did it in such a way that he pleased the Supreme Lord. So both. So one, we do our effort to attract the mercy of the Lord. And when the Lord was pleased, he showed himself. He showed himself to Kardama Muni. And that is the perfection. That's the process. We make the effort. Bhakti, we are making the effort by doing bhakti. Why? For the pleasure of the Lord. And then with that effort, we are attracting his mercy. And when he's pleased, he will reveal himself to us. The Lord is supremely independent. We cannot force him. We can't force him. Hey, God, I want to see you. Come next to me. Come show me your form. Come dance for me. No, who are we to order him? He's the Lord. How can we order the Lord, Because sometimes we think, oh, I want to see, so I should be able to see. But then in that way, we are ordering. We don't like to be ordered ourselves. If somebody is just ordering us, we are like, who do you think you are? Why am I going to do that? So Krishna is supremely independent. So we can see both effort and mercy are required to attract, for our perfection. Any comments?
So Sabdam means it's the form, is it, of the Lord?
Shabda Brahma.
Sabdam Brahma.
Shabda Brahma, that from we are hearing, Shabdam Brahma. Described in the Vedic literature, the forms of the Lord.
The form.
Shabda, we are hearing, the Vedic literature is understood only through the Vedas, Shabdam, which is to be understood only through the Vedas, Brahma, the absolute truth. So the original Shabda, the original sound is the Vedic sound, which was spoken by Krishna into the heart of Brahmaji. Brahma, the absolute truth.
And sorry, Kardama Muni, he was the son of?
Kardama Muni is the son of Brahmaji.
Brahmaji, right?
Okay. Yeah. He is one of the great Prajapatis, a very great personality.
Okay. And his wife is Devahuti.
Devahuti, she is also a great personality. Right? Yeah, she's the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu.
Swayambhuva.
Yeah. So we can see like how these two great personalities are gonna come together. And then Kapila Muni is gonna be born to them.
Right.
Satam Virajam Arakabham Sita Padmot Palasrajam Snigda Nilalaka Vrata Vaktrabjam Virajo Ambaram. Kardama Muni saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is free from material contamination in his eternal form, effulgent like the sun, wearing a garland of white lotuses and water lilies. The Lord was clad in spotless yellow silk, and his lotus face was fringed with slick dark locks of curly hair. So here, Kardama Muni, who is he seeing? He's seeing the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's free from material contamination. We are right now, we have this material body, which is materially contaminated under the modes of nature. But the form of the Supreme Lord is transcendental. No modes can overcome it. No modes can affect the Lord. His eternal form means the Lord's form is eternal, ever existing. He does not have, there's no difference between his soul and his form. Right now, there's a difference between our soul and our form. We are inside this body. So originally, we also have a form like the Supreme Lord, but because of our conditioning, we are inside this body, effulgent like the sun. Effulgent like the sun. So Krishna's body is very effulgent. That's why all this, the Brahma Jyoti, where is it coming from? It's coming from his body. Wearing a garland of white lotuses and water lilies. He's clad in spotless yellow silk and he has dark curly hair, dark locks of curly hair. So here's a description of the Supreme Lord. Somebody asks, how does the Supreme Lord look? We can give him. This is the super soul. This is description of the Paramatma in the heart. Kiritinam kundalinam shankha chakra gadadaram shvetot palakridan kridanakam manasparsha smite kshanam. Adorned with a crown and earrings, he held his characteristic conch, disc, and mace in 3 of his hands and a white lily in the 4th. He glanced about in a happy, smiling mood, whose sight captivates the heart of all devotees. So the Lord, dark locks of curly hair, wearing yellow garments. He is wearing garland of water, lotuses, and lilies, white ones. Then now on his head, he has a crown. And in his ears, he has earrings. And he has 4 hands. So in each of the hands, he's holding conch, shankha, disc, chakra, mace, the gada, and he's holding a white lily. White lily, Utpala lily is called Shweta Utpala, white lily in the 4th. And what is he doing? He's looking about in a happy, smiling mood. He's happy and he's smiling, whose sight captivates the heart of all devotees. And so just by looking at the form, the devotees get so happy. Just they get so, when we see our loved one, just by looking at them, our heart feels so happy. We're looking at someone we love, then we just feel so happy. If you'll have seen like how parents look at their children, just by looking at them, they just feel happy. So this is what. So now we can see that Kardama Muni, he got the sight of the super soul after meditation for 10,000 years. He's having this sight. Now we are Kali Yuga people. What qualification have we gotten? What have we done? What austerities, penances we have done? Nothing. But just by hearing Bhagavatam, we are getting the description of the super soul in the heart. We are seeing how the Lord looks like. So that's the reason Bhakti is called the shortest and the fastest and surest process. If we Kali Yuga people were to sit down to meditate yoga perfection, how long would it take us to understand the super soul looks like this? But here, just by attentively hearing Bhagavatam, we are getting the darshan of the Lord. So this is the supermost excellent position of bhakti. Because hearing Bhagavatam is bhakti. Chanting Bhagavatam is bhakti. Vinyasta charanambojam amsha deshe garutmataha drishtva ke vasthitam vakshaha shriyam kaustubhakandaram. A golden streak on his chest, the famous Kaustuba gem suspended from his neck. He stood in the air with his lotus feet placed on the shoulders of Garuda. Golden streak on his chest and famous Kaustuba gem from his neck. And he is on Garuda's shoulders. The descriptions in verses 9 to 11 of the Lord in his transcendental eternal form are understood to be descriptions from the authoritative Vedic version. These descriptions are certainly not the imagination of Kardama Muni. The decorations of the Lord are beyond material conception, as admitted even by the impersonalists like Shankaracharya. Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to do with the material creation. The varieties of the Transcendental Lord, His form, His body, His form, His dress, His instruction, His words, are not manufactured by the material energy, but are all confirmed in the Vedic literature by performance of yoga, confirmed in the Vedic literature. So we can see that what does the Vedas say? The Vedas are telling us that the Lord's form is transcendental. It's transcendental. It's not material. And we have been hearing in Chaitanya Charitamrita that how the Lord's clothes, his ornaments, his bed, his cushion, his slippers, all that is Balaramji. Balaramji expands himself into these 9 items, his umbrella. So it's all Balaramji. It's expansion of Balaram. It's not material, it's spiritual. Satchit Ananda. So the Lord and his paraphernalia are all spiritual. By performance of yoga, Kardama Muni actually saw the Supreme Lord as he is. There was no point in seeing an imagined form of God after practicing yoga for 10,000 years. The perfection of yoga, therefore, does not terminate in voidness or impersonalism. On the contrary, the perfection of yoga is attained when one actually sees the personality of Godhead in his eternal form. So that this is the perfection. Yoga means linking to the Supreme. So the yoga means link to the Supreme. And there are various processes. Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga means through the path of knowledge, we want to link to the Supreme. Or Dhyan Yoga, through the path of meditation, we want to link to the Supreme. Or Bhakti Yoga, through the process of Bhakti, we want to link to the Supreme. So here, Kardama Muni, he did Dhyan Yoga, but also together with Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti, to get the perfection, either in Gyan Yoga or Dhyan Yoga, there has to be an element of Bhakti to achieve perfection. So the process of Krishna consciousness is to deliver the form of Krishna directly. The form of Krishna is described in the authoritative Vedic literature, Brahma Samhita. His abode is made of Chintamani stone, and the Lord plays there as a cowherd boy and is served by many thousands of gopis. These descriptions are authoritative, and a Krishna conscious person takes them directly, acts on them, preaches them, and practices devotional service as enjoined in the authoritative scriptures. So we always imagine, oh, what's here in this material world? What's there in the other planets of the material world? What's there in the spiritual world? All these answers are given to us in Srimad Bhagavatam. We are told, oh, how in the material world there are different planets, planetary systems. Beyond this material world is the spiritual sky. And then there are the Vaikuntha planets. And the highest of these Vaikuntha planets is the Golok Vrindavan, which even Lord Brahma has sung in his Brahma Samhita. Golok Vrindavan. And what is it made of? Chintamani stone. Chintamani. Chintamani is a stone that anything you touch with it can turn to gold. That's Chintamani. And what is the Lord doing? He's a cowherd boy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a cowherd boy. What? God is a cowherd boy? Doesn't he have anything better to do? Doesn't he have more important things to do than just graze cows and play around in the forest? But that's who he is. Do we want to accept God as he is, or do we want to accept him as we want him to be? Sure, if we want to see him in his office, then that is the Narayan forms in the various Vaikuntha planets. That is Lord in the office. You know, he's very formal, very formal. He's not playing around, joking around with others. It's like a king. Others are his subjects. Yes, if we want to see the Lord in that way, he is there in his office. But we want to see the Lord at his home, relaxing. Like we work We work in the office, but then we have a home where we have loving relationships with our family members. We relax, we play around, we joke, we have fun. Right? And so over there, he's playing with the cowherd boys, and he's served by many thousands of gopis. Many thousands of gopis. And these descriptions are authoritative. They are not imaginary. They are not imaginary. They are mentioned in the Vedas. They're mentioned in the scriptures. So what does a Krishna conscious person do? He hears about this. He hears them, accepts them submissively. Then he acts on them and preaches them. And so he engages in bhakti, and he encourages others to engage in bhakti. Means he himself hears and chants, and he encourages others to hear and chant. And all this is authoritative. All is authorized in the scriptures. It has the approval, the seal of the great authorities. You know how we get the certificate when we are doing something. We get that certificate of authenticity. So performing bhakti under the guidance of the parampara, disciplic succession, is authorized. Any comments?
Yeah, the point to be noted, like, so clearly it says, see, through meditation, Kadam Muni, through meditation and bhakti, he saw the form.
Yes.
And not formless, not a light, but was a form.
Yes, that is the perfection.
It's very,
yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. That is the aim of yoga. That's the aim of
what impersonalist think, right? It's without a form. No, there is a form.
Yeah, so the impersonal realization is not, it's not false. It's not false, but it is incomplete.
Incomplete.
Yeah, it is not a false realization, because it's true. Krishna, he is also light, because he does have a form of light, right? But that is understanding the Supreme Lord. That understanding of the Supreme Lord is incomplete. And there is a higher understanding of the Supreme Lord. There is a deeper understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth, and that he has a form. And higher than that, even higher than that, he has a form. Is the understanding is that we have an eternal relationship with him. So it's just a gradual realization. So with the Gyan process, we come to the realization that, okay, yes, God is light. Then with the yoga realization, yoga process, we come to the realization that he has a form. Oh, he's not form, he has a form. That's a Paramatma realization. Then the bhakti realization is, I have an eternal relationship with God. And God has an eternal loving relationship with me. And I can act in that relationship. And that is the highest realization. That's the perfection.
Bhagwan realization.
Yeah, Bhagwan realization that, and so that God has a form, I have a form, and I am eternally related to him. I have an eternal personal relationship with him. So imagine there is a very important person, a president of a country, so we all want to know great persons. Oh, yes, I'm related to the president. Imagine if we were to find out, oh, you have a very intimate relationship with the president of this country. We would feel, oh, wow, I'm so important. I know such an important person, And that's what Bhakti shows us, that we have that. Not that we become proud about it, but that is our true position. And we have a relationship with the Supreme Lord, with this most important person.
And because we have forgotten the relationship, we are here.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yes. And so we are trying to revive that relationship by hearing and chanting. By hearing and chanting, we are trying to revive. It's just like when somebody gets into an accident, gets amnesia, forgets all the memory. Then what do? The loved ones will bring that person who has amnesia, will bring him, will show him, oh, this was your home. This is your father, mother, husband, child. This is what you used to do. And then gradually, that person starts remembering, oh, yes, yes. And the memory comes back. So this is the same. It's not artificial. It's not that they are, that that it's not there. And if it was artificial, no matter how much we hear and chant, we are never going to be there because it's artificial, right? But because it's there, just by hearing and chanting, we can revive this relationship. We can remember it because it's there. So yes, thank you.
That means chanting and hearing is so important.
Yes, yes, it is. It should never be given up. It should be done regularly. It's food. It's our food for the soul. Like we are feeding the body, taking care of the body every day. Hearing and chanting should be done every day regularly to help us revive our relationship.
Yeah, because that will only help in the end. Like as you mentioned, that it helps us revive our relation with Krishna.
Yeah.
So I think that is the most important thing.
Because
it's very, very important. True.
Yeah, we saw that Kardama Muni, he made the effort and then Krishna got pleased and he revealed himself. So by hearing and chanting, we are trying to get Krishna's attention. We're trying to attract him. We're trying to attract his mercy. Then when he's pleased, he will give us that remembrance. He will give us that knowledge. So it's not just by our effort that, oh, I'm going to hear and chant, I'm going to do it, because after all, hearing and chanting, we are doing with our material senses, right? We are doing with our material senses. But what are we doing with this? We are showing our intention to Krishna. We are showing him, my dear Krishna, I'm sorry I forgot you for so many years, for so many lifetimes, but now I want to revive my relationship with you. I want to be with you. And then, oh, I love you, Krishna. And then when Krishna sees that sincerity, then he gives his mercy.
Yeah, it says, no, Krishna gives forgetfulness or he gives remembrance.
Yes.
So it's up to us. Like, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yes, he gives remembrance and forgetfulness, because we can become proud and say, oh yes, I'm doing so much hearing and chanting.
So then he said, okay, yeah. So
yeah.
then
And so then so we can become proud, hey Krishna, look how much I'm hearing and chanting about you. So now you should come in front of me and make me remember what I have to do. But no, that's not the process.
And if you don't put an effort, you don't want to remember, you don't chant, then he'll give you that thing, forgetfulness. Okay. Remain
yes. It's true. So again, it depends now. Again, comes to the same point of our desire. What's our desire?
Our desire, yes.
And I think that there is a very one beautiful story of a devotee of ISKCON. She met with an accident, and then she was a very, like, she was a regular chanter. She used to chant all her rounds very properly and on the bead bag, on the bead mala, and everything she used to do very nicely. And then she met with an accident. So when she met with an accident, she had no sense. She forgot everything. She didn't even remember her name, nothing at all. She was in the hospital. And there was this Prabhu, I'm forgetting the name. He was from Vrindavan. And then he called the hospital and she said that I want to speak to Mataji. And then when he spoke and he just said, Hare Krishna. And then she started chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And then everybody was shocked that she didn't even know her name, nothing at all. And what happened? And then the hospital requested Prabhuji that, can you please come and visit her? And he said, okay, I'll come and visit. I'm forgetting the name, maybe Chinta, something I'm forgetting. So then when he came and when she saw the bead bag, and when they were chanting, and then she just snatched away the bead bag and she started chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So like it was shown that no matter what situation you are in, Krishna will always come to you, and you
Yeah,
remember
his mercy
Krishna.
will be there, right?
So
Yeah.
he will be there for his devotees no matter
Yes.
whatever the situation is. So if we remember him, he will never forget us, never ever.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think Chandraji, she had sent, just few days back
She
on
has
this.
she has shared this
Yeah.
one, this story.
No, not the story, but she had put there like if you are a devotee,
Yeah,
and if supposing you meet with an accident, you go into coma,
yeah.
and Krishna will make you remember. He will come
Yes,
and be
yes.
in your.
So yeah, that is shocking that she just remembered that. So that is the mercy of Krishna, right? From him comes the remembrance.
Yes. Yes.
So how grateful he is. He doesn't forget his devotees, so we don't have to worry. And as
Yeah.
Shilpa ji said very well, we just have to chant, nothing else, forget everything. Just chant and hear and chant.
Yeah. Yeah, Krishna never forgets. He's not ungrateful. He's very, very pending. Somebody does a little bit for Krishna, he gives us so many times in return. Also reminds me of another devotee in America, Western bodied devotee. Niranjana Maharaj had shared this, that she was a very good devotee. And then somehow she got old and she also lost all her memories, So she was living in an old people's home.
Groove ke liye lagaya hoga.
And then the only thing she would remember was chant Hare Krishna. She would sing, and she would also sing for the others who were there in the old people's home. So the devotees would meet with her and talk to her, but the only thing she would do is sing Hare Krishna whenever. That's the only thing she would speak. And that's how everybody remembered her. She left her body, and by her grace, all the other people in the old people home would also sing along, when she would sing Hare Krishna. She had forgotten everything else, but Krishna gave her that remembrance of him, which is the most important. So thank you so much for sharing such wonderful, wonderful pastimes. And this wonderful quality of Krishna, that he's very, very grateful. Gratitude, that is one of his qualities. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.